Using FastAttach to respond electronically to CMS. This video instructs you how to use the FastAttach software to respond electronically to your additional documentation requests received from CMS. First, you will need to launch the FastAttach software. When you launch the FastAttach software, you will be taken to a login screen. You must provide 3 pieces of information to log into the FastAttach software: your facility ID, your username, and your password. Your facility ID, username, and password will be provided to you at the time of registration for the FastAttach software. Once you successfully log into FastAttach, you will be taken to the main screen. Once on the main screen of FastAttach, if you have not already done so, please go to the Provider Information section and enter in your provider's information. Please remember to include the 10-digit NPI for the provider on your request letter. If you have already entered in your provider into the FastAttach software, click on New Search to begin. You would then need to click on the New Patient button located in the center of the screen. Once you click on New Patient, this will take you to the Patient Information screen. Once on this screen, you will need to fill in the fields provided to you. First, you can begin by entering in the patient's first name, the patient's last name, the patient's date of birth in a 2-digit, 2-digit, 4-digit format, and then the medical record number, or MRN. The medical record number is an optional field, so you may leave this field blank. Use the drop-down menu if necessary to choose the appropriate provider whom has received the request. You will need to choose the appropriate recipient. The appropriate recipient will be the contractor who issued you your request letter. Once you choose the appropriate recipient, you will then need to enter in the patient's member ID or Medicare member ID. Keep in mind this will be a government-issued ID and may be the Social Security number as well. Once you have entered in all required pieces of data, click the Next button at the top left of the screen. You will be prompted to save your changes. This will save your patient for future use in the FastAttach software. This takes you to the Data Entry screen. Once on the Data Entry screen, you can review the information you entered on the last screen for accuracy. If you notice that anything needs to be changed, click on the Patient Info button at the top of the screen in the center. On the bottom of the Data Entry screen, you have a Data Service From and Data Service Through. These fields are required. Dates must be in a 2-digit, 2-digit, 4-digit format. If you require an end date that is not the same as the start date, click the Edit Data Service Through and enter in your date of service through. Additionally, you have a date of admission and date of discharge. These fields are optional. On any date field, you may drop down and choose from the calendar below. If you need to remove the information in either of the fields, simply highlight it and click the Delete button. On the bottom right, you have a narrative field that is completely optional. Just above that, you have a reference control number field. This field is used for the unique identifier that the contractors use to identify the claim for which you have received a request. This number is often called a DCN, a CCN, a claim ID, or a file reference number. The number format is standardized for 13 to 15 numeric characters or 17 to 23 alphanumeric characters. The number is located on the letter of request from the contractor. Please be sure to enter in the number accurately, as the contractor will use this number to identify which claim you are responding on behalf of. Once you have entered in this information, you will then be able to acquire the documentation necessary to respond to your request. This instructional video will focus on both the file import and the print capture options to gather your documentation. There are additional methods available within the FastAttach software, such as Screen Capture, Archive, Fast Capture, and Twain Scanner. Let's begin with the File Import option. First, click on File Import. Once you click on File Import, you will be able to navigate through your computer with an Explorer window. Navigate through and locate the documentation you wish to send in response to your request. Once you locate the documentation, simply click on it and choose the option to Open. This will pull you back into the FastAttach software and take you to the Edit Document window. Once inside the Edit Document window, you can review the documentation you have chosen to attach by looking in the Preview window on the right-hand side of the software. Once you have verified that this is indeed the document you wish to send, you will need to label the documentation on the left. From the drop-down menu, choose the option for Audit Response when responding to an additional documentation request. Make sure to choose the appropriate documentation type every time to ensure delivery. At the bottom of the screen, you have an optional document note. This document note is an internal note only and will not be passed to the contractor recipient. Once you have entered in all of the information, click Next. This will return you to the Data Entry screen. Once on the Data Entry screen, you will see an entry for your documentation. You can add as much documentation as necessary by clicking File Import and repeating the steps. Now let's talk about print capture. Click on the print capture button to open the print capture window. Once this window is open, you can now print directly into the FastAttach software. Simply navigate your computer to access the documentation you wish to add, or open the program in which your documentation is stored. Once your documentation is open, choose File and then Print. This will open your printer dialog box. From your printer dialog box, drop your printer choice down and choose the MEA virtual printer to print into FastAttach. You will be able to print as you do to a normal printer from within this window. You can choose which pages you wish to print, or simply click the print button. Once you have chosen to print, you will then see in the print capture window your file name, number of pages, and you'll be able to label your documentation by dropping down the menu and again choosing Audit Response. Once you have chosen your document type, click Next to return to the data entry screen. Once on the data entry screen again, you will see a list of all the documentation you have added for your response. At this time, CMS contractors do recommend that you include a copy of your letter in your response. Once you have added all of the documentation necessary for your submission, click the Save button in the upper left-hand corner. This will open the case number window. The case number will be the number on the letter identifying the letter of request itself. The case number is often called by different names such as case number, case ID, request number, or letter ID. The number is often long in nature. Once you have entered in this number and verified its accuracy, you may then click the Next button at the bottom left in order to return to the main screen of FastAttach. Once you return to the main screen of FastAttach, you will see a status of processing on the left. During the processing status, you may use the new search button in the upper left-hand corner to enter in your next patient data. If you wish to, you can click the refresh button on the right in order to verify whether or not your status has changed to ready to send. Once your status is in a ready to send status, you may click the Send button in the center of the screen to submit your documentation to MEA to be submitted to CMS. Once your submission is finalized, you will receive a submission file receipt notifying you that MEA is now in possession of your documentation. The submission file receipt contains your MEA tracking number, which is a unique internal number that MEA assigns to your documentation. Additionally, you will see the reference control number and your case number on your file receipt. At this time, MEA will now begin packaging your submission to submit to CMS. You may close or print this submission file receipt. Click Close to return to the main screen of the FastAttach software. Your package is now in MEA's hands and en route to the CMS gateway to be forwarded to the contractor. To verify the tracking on your submission, click on Online Features to be taken to the Provider View features. The default landing page for online features is Search for Submissions. You may search for an individual submission with your MEA number, recipient, member ID, patient first or last, or a date range. Additionally, you will see features on the left-hand side including administrative features, a search for our messages, searching for submissions again, searching any of your archived documentation, managerial reporting, and your esMD delivery confirmation. Your esMD delivery confirmation is where you can track your submissions to CMS and the contractors. You have several options to search. You may search by recipient by dropping down the menu and choosing the appropriate contractor from the list. Additionally, you may search by patient first, patient last, and a reference number. The reference number may be the MEA tracking number, the reference control number entered, or the case number entered for your submission. Additionally, at the bottom you may enter in a date range. The date range allows you to see any documentation submitted within a specific period of time for all of your patients. If you choose to download the report to screen, a separate pop-up window will appear with your information. If you choose to download a delimited file, this will download a delimited file which you can import into a spreadsheet program for administrative purposes. The esMD delivery confirmation screen includes the following information: your MEA tracking number, the unique number assigned by MEA to your submission, your patient first name, your patient last name, a medical record number if one was included, your case number, your reference control number, a page count for the submission, including all pages that were sent. It will also include your NPI or 10-digit national provider ID for the sending provider. You will see a column for your submitting user, and you will see a column for 3 dates. Let's discuss date CTS received. The date CTS received is the most important of all 3 of the dates. This date means you have met your legal obligation for the deadline for the documentation you must send in response to your letter. This will be known as the Gateway Confirmation or esMD Gateway Confirmation, generally by the contractors. You also have a date submitted, which would be the date you submitted your information to MEA, And finally, a date received, or the date that the contractor received the information from the CMS gateway. You will also finally be able to see the recipient to which you submitted your documentation in the first place. At this time, you may close your delivery confirmation, and you may exit out of the Provider View system by clicking the X in the top right corner. This concludes this tutorial video. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to watch any of our other instructional videos available to you, and thank you for using FastAttach.